Is gold IRA safer than bonds for the wealthy? Let me tell you about Jim Holloway, a retired engineer from Scottsdale, Arizona, who thought he was playing it safe by locking in $500,000 of his IRA into municipal bonds. But when inflation kicked in and the bond market tanked, he lost $71,000 in less than 6 months. Now, Jim's not a gambler. He built his wealth methodically over 40 years, but he told me something that stuck with me. I thought bonds were the safe option. No one told me safety could still mean losing money. Today, we're answering the question every wealthy retiree needs to be asking. Is a gold IRA actually safer than bonds right now? To understand this, we have to start with what's happening in the real economy. Right now, inflation is proving to be sticky, far more than the Fed expected. Core CPI rose again last month, especially in housing and energy. Meanwhile, the bond market? It's in its worst stretch in decades. U.S. Treasury bonds, once the gold standard for safety, are down as much as 40% from their peak due to rising interest rates. And if that wasn't enough, JP Morgan just warned that U.S. debt levels are becoming a systemic risk for traditional fixed income investors. So if you're retired or near retirement, here's the brutal truth. Bonds aren't what they used to be. They're more volatile. They're not keeping up with inflation. And in a world of massive government spending and mounting geopolitical risk, they're starting to look more like a liability than a hedge. And that's exactly why people like Jim have started rolling over parts of their IRA into physical gold-backed IRAs. Now let me pause here, because if you've never looked into gold IRAs before, I know what you're thinking. Isn't gold kind of old school? Don't I miss out on income? Is it complicated? The answers? Gold's old school, because it's worked for thousands of years. You don't buy gold for income. You buy it to preserve purchasing power. And no, it's not complicated. In fact, for Jim, it all started with a free guide and a 15-minute educational call to see if it was a fit. After that, Jim chose to move $412,000 from his IRA into a gold IRA. Today, while his bond-heavy friends are licking their wounds, Jim's sleeping peacefully, knowing his wealth is backed by something real. That's the emotional difference. Bonds are promises made by governments or companies. Gold is value itself. It doesn't need to promise you anything. Now, I'm not saying dump everything into gold. That's not the point. But if you have over $100,000 in an IRA or 401k and you haven't explored true diversification with gold, then you're leaving your retirement exposed to risks that are growing every single day. So here's what I recommend. Grab the free Gold IRA guide. No cost, no strings. It's packed with everything you need to understand how this works. And if you want, you can schedule a no-pressure education first call with a specialist. This isn't some gimmick. There's no silver coin upsells, no pushy sales reps, just a real conversation to see if this strategy is right for you and your legacy. Jim's story didn't start with gold. It started with a question. What if the safe option isn't safe anymore? And maybe that's the question that brought you here too. So take the first step, protect what you've built, and give your retirement the rock-solid foundation it deserves. Get the free guide today. Your future self will thank you.